Investors were very gun shy with Brisbane over the last 5 to 7 years. I mean, Brisbane was a market that was talked about and being on the cusp of a boom and just never seemed to really get going. It was almost like the lazy capital city from a property market point of view. But what's happened over the last 12 months, and probably more so the last 6 months, is it's booming, and it's really flying harder than any other capital city at the moment. And there's a couple of reasons for that. I mean, it's a really livable city, incredibly desirable place to set up as a family, and a lot of people have been frustrated with the lockdowns in Melbourne and now Sydney as well, and have started to migrate north, which is not uncommon. When property market values increase, we often see people moving up there for affordability and lifestyle. And the fact that COVID has made it more attractive and also more affordable has meant there's a lot of people flying up there. They're spending the money that they made in Melbourne and Sydney booms on the Brisbane market, and that's driving up prices significantly. And then, of course, you've got the natural trends in Brisbane that the locals are having, same as everywhere else in the country, where there's more value placed on the family home. People are upsizing, they're wanting more space, they're wanting more livable locations because they know that you can be confined to that postcode with lockdowns. So Brisbane's growing significantly on the back of the fact that there's a lot of people from other parts of Queensland moving there. There's also a lot of people from Melbourne and Sydney and other capital cities moving there. And based on the fact that the population is growing rapidly in a city which is actually quite small with only just over 2 million people, and from a landscape point of view, Brisbane's more similar to Sydney than it is to Melbourne. So in Brisbane, you've got ocean down the east coast, you've got a lot of national park weaved in on the west side, and you've got a river that runs through the middle and a lot of flood catchment areas and areas that you can't really develop on. So the land supply is really diminished inside that 10K ring. So inside 10Ks of Brisbane, it's really difficult to buy property because of the fact that the capital city markets that are migrating there, wanting to live close to town, and also because there's just not a lot of supply. There has also been a bit of a shortage of development in Brisbane over the last few years because property prices weren't moving, therefore developers weren't constructing. So naturally, apartments and townhouses, which were oversupplied 3-4 years ago, that supply has been soaked up and there's not a lot of construction coming through. So pretty simple supply and demand equation happening up in Brisbane at the moment.